Hello, welcome back to 10 at 10. My name is Michael Ramage. I'm the director of the Cyber Education and Research Center here at Murray State University, and welcome back to 10 at 10. 10 at 10 is brought to you through a partnership between Murray State University, Sprocket, West Kentucky, and KY Innovation. We're happy to have you back. This is episode 246, and as it is typically with the even number episodes, we are looking at the news of the last few days and seeing what's in there that we can learn about how to better protect ourselves, our families, and our organizations. But before I do that, I've got to say thank you to all of those people that attended IT Matters this past week. We had great attendance, great feedback. The speakers were the feedback on the speakers was fantastic. We changed up the timing a little bit, and I heard some good feedback on that. So thanks to all that participated in that. We certainly appreciate your support on that. You can still watch it online. It's on our YouTube channel if you want to watch it. It's broken up because in the middle of the day we had a power outage. It went off for about 5 seconds, and it caused us to have to reset all of our streams and everything. But it's up there if you want to take a look at it. All right. With that said, let's just dig into some news and take a look at what's happening. The first one, and I'm going to try to just state the facts, and I don't want to get political on this, but it is an important piece. Right now, it's called CISA, but it's not the federal agency CISA. It's a Cybersecurity Information Sharing Act that was passed in 2015 that is up for reauthorization, and for a variety of reasons. One being our Senator Paul. There is a risk of this not being shared, and essentially what the or not being reauthorized. Sorry, not being reauthorized is the term. But what this bill does and why it's important is, or what this act that we've had for 10 years does, is it allows organizations to share threat intelligence with each other without being punished for it. It's not sharing personal information. It's not sharing customer information. It's sharing indicators of compromise. And private companies, public entities need a little bit of legal cover, to make sure that they're not violating any issue. So that is what this law does. It is up. I believe it expires the end of the month, which is very soon. So there's a very good chance that, and as you can read the first sentence of the paragraph, pessimism is mounting about the chances that Congress will reauthorize that bill. So something to follow. I'll keep you posted on what happens. But what the effect of it would be is that companies would likely not be willing to share indicators of compromise with each other. So if there was an attack on one company right now, they share that out so that other companies may see the same thing and they can stop that from happening. This would cause that to go in a different direction. And I find this interesting. We got to go back to something we've talked about many times over the last 246 episodes, is what is motivating cyber criminals. Now, there may be a nation state that is motivated by something else, and actually we'll talk about a nation state in a minute. But by and large, cyber criminals are about making money. They're about, what can I do to make money? These are organized criminal organizations that operate in much like a business would, in the sense that we're wanting to make money. So how do we make money? Well, what they have figured out is that law firms are the new target. So they're starting to go after law firms, not just law firms in general, but the client data. We talk about attorney-client privilege. That's one of those things. It's protected communication. Well, that means that there's a lot of really good data on there to be able to steal. That is something that that can be valuable. So what we're now talking about is let's go after this information, and if we hold that ransom, we can get even more money. So anyway, the article goes on to talk about there's three types of law firms. There's those that find the problems and fixes it. There's the group that notices the problem but doesn't act. And then there's the group of firms that don't even know they have a problem. They don't know they have vulnerabilities and don't know how to fix it. And so a lot of times those smaller firms don't have IT, don't have that staff on site. So they're going to be much more vulnerable and something to watch out for. All right, these next two articles, I'm not going to go into detail on, but I just find it very interesting that telcos targeted by Iranian espionage cyber espionage operation. Our big companies, our telcos, our social media firms, our big insurance companies, our big companies are always being targeted by nation states. This time it's Iran, it's been the Russians, it's been the Chinese, the North Koreans. These big companies are always targets. So we worry about them. Now, from a cyber espionage operation is are the Iranians going to target a small law firm that we were just talking about? Probably not. But these big companies, absolutely. So we worry about these nation states and attacking us, and we should. And I mean, this is an article talking about that. That's an important thing that we should worry about. However, I find this just as interesting. Teenage hacker arrested for cyber attacks against Las Vegas casinos. A teenage boy was arrested for in connection with a series of cyber attacks that ultimately cost multiple casinos over $100 million. So we're worried about these big, massive nation states attacking us. The Iranians, they're attacking us. We got to stop them. Yet this teenage boy was part of a sophisticated attack that cost over $100 million to casinos. So this was, I think the attacks itself were in 2023. So it's been a couple of years since those attacks happened. But there was someone that was arrested. And the key part of this, to me, between the last two articles, is that we don't know who's attacking us. I already said today, the primary motivator is money. Yes, this teenage boy was probably working and made some money on it or trying to make money on it. The Iranians are probably not they don't care about making money as much as the national geopolitical component to it. So all of these things are important to consider, and all of these things are important to keep in mind. And so when we're looking at these things, we have to do the best practices, follow the security best practices that you hear from me, that you hear from other cybersecurity professionals, to make sure that we're protected against all of these people, not just the big nation state, because we don't really know where our next attack is coming from. All right, last thing I want to talk about is this warning. So the FBI issues an alert that scammers are posing as law enforcement and government officials. That's something that we've seen a lot of, and often I'm gonna pose as law enforcement to help you go after the bad guy. There's a gold bar scam that has gone around, and that's part of how they do it, is that they pose as law enforcement. But what this one's specifically talking about is something that's a little more concerning to me. So FBI has a website called the Internet Crime Complaint Center, IC3. The website is ic3.gov. And if you listen to 10 at 10, not maybe a month ago, we talked about that. And that's where you go to report internet crimes. And if you report an internet crime on the ic3.gov website, it goes to the Louisville field office of the FBI, and they actually get it. They actually look at it, and they actually take action on it. Now, if you lost $4.13, it's probably not worth their time to investigate. But when it starts to accumulate, they absolutely take action on it and they receive every alert. And people, I'm part of the FBI InfraGard group, and InfraGard and FBI and all the government agencies encourage you to go to that website and fill out information if you're attacked or if you are a victim. Bad guys were masquerading. They had a fake ic3.gov website, and it would use a .com instead of a .gov or something to get you to trick you to go to somewhere else. So be very careful. If you're going to go to the Internet Crime Complaint Center, ic3.gov, make sure it is .gov. ic3.gov is the website. Don't go to anything else. Make sure you're going to the right thing. You should report, but make sure you're reporting in the right spot. All right. Went through a lot of stories, a little bit over on time. Thank you for joining in. I appreciate your time and look forward to hearing more from you. And I'll see you next week back here on 10 at 10. Thank you. Bye.